Yo, what up, everybody? Today we're checking in with two old friends of mine, Michael Sartain and Owen Cook. We're looking at this video called Why You Cannot Afford to Not Be on Social Media. Let's go.
And they feel like going on social media and talking about themselves or whatever comes off as try hard. And you want to know something? It is try hard, except that everyone's doing it. And the thing you have to know is that the guy who's getting the business you want, he's on social media. The guy who's getting the girl you want, he's on social media too. Why aren't you on there?
I'm going to tell the story of how I got interested in what Michael has to teach. Okay, so first of all, this was me in maybe like 2010. And I met a guy named Nick Daniels. And Nick came up to me and he said, "Hey, Owen, I think what you teach is awesome. It's really, really cool. But what you do is like superhero shit. Because what you're doing is like defying all the fucking odds. You're basically beating all the odds in order to meet new people and to have a social life." And he said, "Why don't you actually pause and work on building a social circle? And if you did that, you would literally just have to do nothing." Now, I personally believe there's all these advantages to working on how to just meet people randomly. It builds your subcommunication, builds your frame. It's like socializing in the most pure form. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And even though I do huge parties at my house all the time, I will still go out and meet people regularly because I like it really just for the more sport aspect of it, okay? It's just like a joy to do. It's just a lot of fun and you learn a ton from it. Made me a better public speaker, changed my life. But as far as things just being very, very easy, what Nick said to me is he said, "Look, why don't you spend a month with me and we're not gonna try to talk to anybody. We're just gonna go and hang out and build a social circle and watch how your life changes." Well, it was mind-blowing what he showed me. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. Later, I wound up meeting Michael in Vegas.
Yeah, going out and meeting people is an important skill to have, the ability to just walk up to a bunch of strangers and make a conversation, because your truest form of your ability to express yourself as a human being. You need to have this astutity, this agility. In any situation of life, you can do it. Therefore, in life, you don't feel trapped. You can make conversations, strangers, get anything you want, whenever you want. Walk into a hotel, have a challenge with your reservation, and you can talk your way into getting the hotel room you want. You could have a situation with the police, and all of a sudden, hey, you're let off scot-free when everybody else is getting arrested. You have an opportunity to meet a stranger in an unexpected situation at a nightclub, bar, or even at work if you want, and hey, you can make it happen. So it is a social skill superpower to have, but everybody needs at least a baseline level of it. You don't got to do what I did. You don't have to have the same kung fu level ability that Owen had or any of the other guys in the team. You just have to have a baseline level of it, because your life sucks if you can't do that. Now, the great thing about a social circle is once you have that basic skill and ability, you can build this amazing social circle, this structure that just lasts for you. And once you build it, it's there. You don't have to keep rebuilding it. The system is there. It's like a business. You have a funnel, got a sales team, got marketing guys, boom, the system's there. And you get a better return on investment for your social skills, because you're not going out banging the guns every night. I don't know about you, but I have things I want to do in life. I don't want to be out in a club till 3 a.m. You don't have to do that every night unless you want to. If you want to, great, but you don't have to. And therefore, you then have a social system that will stay there for you and give you a return on the investment of all those social skills that you got. It's not about doing it one and done. A lot of people I used to hang out with would make conversations, cold approach, with people, and they're like, "Oh, I met somebody and they have a boyfriend, so I just walked away." I'm like, "You didn't make a friend? You didn't get a phone number? You didn't hang out and invite that person out with their friends?" "No, I didn't do that." Well, bro, you should have did that, because attractive people typically know other attractive people. They could have brought their friends along. And maybe that girl you're interested in, she stopped seeing the guy she's dating in 4 months, and all of a sudden you spent 4 months with her as a friend, and now it's your time to shine. You know what I'm saying?
And as well as Michael's friend Luke Krogh. And both Michael and Luke basically showed me the most incredible ideas on building a social circle. And I'd be out there with Michael, and this was before, Michael's a very famous guy now. Michael was not famous back then. And Michael would bring me into like fucking parties, and he would bring me fucking everywhere. He'd be trying to get me to use Snapchat at the time. It was completely fucking mind-blowing. I'm gonna talk a lot about the success barriers surrounding me initially using things like Snapchat. But like, what was it like for you meeting me and seeing that I'm, kind of going about it the way that I'm going about it, and you've built this like huge kind of social situation in Vegas, and what were you trying to show me? What did you want me to understand?
So in the beginning, like when you and I met, we met in 2011 in Chicago, and back then, like that was the first year that Instagram had started up. Mm-hmm. So I still kind of understood, like It's really weird. I have a friend of mine named Tom Sosnoff, and this guy's a billionaire. He sold several brokerages. He used to be a pit trader. Do you remember pit traders? The guys who sit there and they hold the buy and sell things at the New York Stock Exchange. He said the first day he saw automated trading, he was like, we're all out of a fucking job. When I saw what was going on with social media, I was like, we're all out of a fucking job. Like, I really saw what was going to happen was, so like, as men, we like our validation from, we like our validation from compliance. From women like their validation from attention. And I was like, man, a lot of these women are going to be able to get their validation without having to go out anymore. And so we're going to have to do something to kind of get them to come out. And so,
yeah, it's the same thing with supermarkets. When was the last time you went and hunted? You haven't hunted in forever. You probably never hunted in your life. Yet you have fresh meat, you have fish delivered to your local supermarket. Same with social media. Everything that people want is now delivered into their house. All the validation, all the connections, all the networking, all the opportunities delivered to the palm of their hand. Literally.
That's where I came into the idea of understanding how events worked, of how social media was able to like scale whatever I was trying to do. It's really funny because you remember when online marketing started, you could make you could make so much money from Facebook ads because a lot of people hadn't got into it. Ty Lopez, he spends like $19-20 million on that first ad of him in the garage. He gets 74 million views, more than that, like different versions of it here in my garage. He got more money. He made more money per dollar spent because he was first to market. Does that make sense? He understood the concept of going online and then using that to scale a business. For some reason now everyone does it. Everyone buys meta ads. Meta ads is really common for people to do that. But the idea of scaling your business by using social media or by using the internet in general makes sense. But for some reason, when it comes to networking, we don't want to do it. For some reason, when it comes to networking, when I say, hey dude, your Instagram makes you look like a terrorist, like that isn't, like, stop looking like that.
Social media is the future. Look at Obama back when he won his first term. He would not be able to have done it without social media. Look at Trump. Trump went on Rogan, and they think that was the big thing that persuaded a lot of Black and Latino voters. Trump being on Rogan. Trump owns Truth Social. It's here. Even the politicians realize this. But yet you still got blurry photos on your Instagram. All right, cool. Yeah. You got dog shit photos on your Instagram of you like with in your bathroom with toothpaste on the mirror. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, you know better. You know better than Trump. You know better than that. Yeah.
Instagram makes you look like a really big weirdo who stalks people. You need to change your Instagram. People don't grasp what I'm saying, and they think, well, this little change I have, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get on Instagram. This happens a lot of times with 40 or 50-year-old men who've been divorced because when they got married, there was no Instagram. And now that they're divorced, it's like you have to explain to them, like, dude, you look weird as shit. You got to do something to fix this. And they don't want to do it because they're very hard-headed, and they feel like going on social media and talking about themselves or whatever comes off as try hard. And you want to know something? It is try hard, except that everyone's doing it. And the thing you have to know is that the guy who's getting the business you want, he's on social media. The guy who's getting the girl you want, he's on social media too. Why aren't you on there? And so it comes after a...
And the girl you want is on social media. She's not at her local roller skating ring anymore. Joe Smith, old 45-year-old dude. Yeah, she's not where you think she is anymore. She's inside filtering the opportunities. So if you want to connect with somebody who's inside, do it. I mean, that was really cool because in Canada, I mean, listen, in Canada, it snows 5-6 months of the year. So nobody's outside. You're not running into people in the street. And even if you did, you couldn't see them because they got the hood and the hat on. So we're all connecting online. It's just a way of life here. But if you're, divorced, you just got out of a marriage or a situation and you're getting back into the world, I understand it's a complete game changer, but everything's changed. The game is now more accessible and easier than ever if you're tapped in. So listen, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. You don't got to be a 10 on 10 superstar, but you can't have a half-assed effort.
It becomes more and more obvious. So like back then when we first got into Snapchat before Instagram, it was one of these things where it was like, hey man, you can see where everybody's at. Like I don't have to guess what the cool club is. I know where I'm going. I know like who the people I want to hang out with is. And here's the other thing. I can display certain levels of access, value, competency, relevancy, and access to scarce resources using my social media with very little perceived effort. And the crazy part is I can see who watched my story, or I can see who watched my snap. I can see who watched my story. And like that's the most mind blowing. When IG story came out in 2017, that broke everything.
Because now you can see who's watching you. You know, look back in the day, you maybe be at a club and you kind of like be dancing or your little drink in the corner and you see who's making eye contact with you from across the room. Now you can see who's making eye contact with you from across the world. That's what the ability of looking at who's looking at you on social media is all about.
Because once IG Story came out, you could post memes, you at the club, wherever, and like you could literally see every girl who watched your story. And I was like, oh, everyone's gonna start doing this. And no one did. It was like one of the weirdest things I ever seen. So it's very interesting to me. And then, you know, Bilzerian, he goes away like after COVID happens, and he gets rid of the house, the 10979 Shalon Road house, the big Ignite house. When he gets rid of it, he takes about a year and a half and writes a book. And when he writes the book, like in one of the early chapters, he says social media is the best way of showing high status with low perceived effort. So scalable levels of status with low perceived effort. Now, what I just told you, that's what I've realized after the last 10 years. When I first showed you Snapchat, it was just like, man, this is a great way to see where the girls are.
Yeah.
This is a great way to see where the things are going. Because I've always felt like this, and maybe some of the people who are watching this have felt like this too, but I've always felt like when I was in high school especially, or even when I was in college, there was a place the cool kids were getting invited to and I wasn't getting invited to. There's a place.
Social media also lets you know where everybody's going, right? You follow one or two people in your city. They're always doing the hot thing. You see what they're doing. You know where the cool places are. You don't have to guess anymore. You can just get into the in crowd. Drop them a line, talk to them on their DMs. Now you're in the in crowd. You can go to the places that they go. You can also do research and information, do your reconnaissance on the new events coming up in the city. It's great, man. It's great.
A party where all the pretty girls were, but I wasn't getting invited to. There was there were the guys who always got the best business deals and had the most connections, but I wasn't getting invited. I wasn't part of that group. I didn't know how to play politics with my boss. Like there was these things where it was very clear that certain people had access to more and better things. And at first, I hated that. I hated those people. I thought that was super unfair. The hobnobbers and I call bootlickers, whatever. And then later I understood after meeting Dr. David Buss, it's just an evolutionary adaptation. It's an adaptation. Humans that were able to network with other humans and build tribes and become the leader of those tribes always had, throughout history, access to more resources, food, and women.
Listen, if you're fighting this, you could either be right or you can get results. Which one do you want? You can't do both. Pick one. Do you want to be right about how you think the world should be and how social media shouldn't be necessary and how you're above it and you're beyond it all? Or do you want to get results? Pick one, because usually they're not the same thing. If it's hard for you, great. If it's hard, that means that you're going to get results on the other side of doing this hard thing, which is engaging in social media. And once you do it, it won't be hard anymore because you'll know how and it'll be easy. And you can set up automated systems for it. By the way, yeah, just linking to that, I got automated systems for meeting people into your life, funneling them through to your life with Instagram ads, social media posts, Facebook ads. I use all sources to meet the people who I want. I automate it like a system. One push of a button, people are showing up in my house. One push of a button, I got a date the weekend if I want, okay? I go into this in great detail inside Social Circle Hacking. And right now for the holidays, we got a crazy special on it. I put this together for you so anybody can get it if you want. It's on a subscription basis. You don't even have to pay the full thing. You get it at a discounted rate, and I got a 7-day free trial for you as well. So there's a link in the bio, okay? Go check it out.
Throughout history, it wasn't that networking was this weird thing. It was an evolutionary adaptation that's been passed down through 200,000 years of Homo sapien evolution that we've gotten to this point. Because when you think about it, like, the individual Homo sapien by himself cannot stand up to the bear. He cannot stand up to the lion. He cannot stand up to the tiger. But the tribe of men can. And so men becoming tribal was an adaptation to become the apex predator on the planet. So what would that do? Well, that means today, you having that ability to lead men would be the most advantageous thing that you could do. I've said this a million times. The apex of human existence is a family and accomplishing goals with other men. That is the apex of you. You think it's making all the money or having a threesome. No, the apex of human existence, is accomplishing goals with people, with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If you do those, it means you've hit some other wins in your life and you can do those successfully. Have a family that you love and that respects you, that loves you, and is there for you, and a tribe of men who you are useful to, and a bunch of men that respect you and your leadership. Absolutely, 100%.
odds, and you and a team. That's why we watch the World Cup. It's why we watch the Super Bowl. It's why we watch war movies. It's because we are watching groups of men accomplish a goal together. And that, to me, that is really, when you think about it evolutionarily, those are the men who survived, who grew the most. And you can think about that, everyone from like the Catholic Church to like Genghis Khan to whoever, like whoever you want to say, but like groups of men coming together, the settlers who went west and settled the Western United States. All those people coming together, fighting wars. The U.S. and the United States and Britain fighting in World War II. These are groups of men coming together to accomplish goals, right? And then now you can think about it, people coming together to build a business, people coming together to run a sales team, to build a charity, whatever. Accomplishing goals with other people is the apex of human existence. So
I think what Michael's point is here, he's trying to make, I'll make it a little bit more relatable. Once you have the social circle or social network, you can then get other men and help other men, or take other men and have them support you in your goals and your dreams. You can have a tribe of dudes that are all hustling in the same direction, working on something, and you're all useful to each other, and you all add value to each other's lives. And that's a beautiful thing. It's probably the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, what would you rather do? Like, masturbate at home or achieve a goal with a bunch of dudes? Would you rather hook up with some lady on a beach, or like be with your boys just killing it, changing the world, and building legacy? What sounds more exciting to you, right? You need other guys there, but you need the social circle skills to make that happen. You need the social media to make that happen. It's a tool that you can use.
Knowing that, then I was like, okay, networking is not this foreign thing. It's an evolutionary adaptation that I need to learn and study. So I started studying it, and then I started seeing these little tricks that I learned from hanging out with club promoters to get like 70 girls to come to my party are actually things that I can do to network with high status dudes. And then so I started doing it over and over again. And with you and with everybody else that I've met that's high status, the first thing I always try to do is offer value. I know that we always say offer value. What it really means is solve problems.
Yeah,
I'm a problem solver. I'm Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. I'm the wolf.
Your value to other men is one of the biggest factors, is how good you can solve problems for them. Your ability to help them out in wealth, love, happiness, finances. That's your value to other men. You watch me, maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. You watch me maybe because I help you with relationships and social skills. I'm helping you. You got to help other people you respect.
Call me. I'm going to solve problems for you. The way I communicate with people I love is by solving problems for them. My girlfriend is confused by this sometimes. She thinks that I should just sit there and listen. And I'm like, no, I'm solving. And like, by the time she's done talking, I've solved all of her problems. And she can't figure out what's going on. And then I was like, this is why.
Yeah, that's probably an area for improvement, Michael.
Want to work for me. This is why people want to be friends with me. Like, there's no good reason that like Andrew Tate would have introduced me to Justin Waller and introduced me to Fresh and Fit and introduced me to Rollo Tomassi. Why did he do that? He did that because I was trying to help him solve problems. Why? Why is Justin Waller and I really good friends? Why are my friends with Rollo Tomassi, Dan Bilzerian, Greg O'Gallagher, Brandon Carter? Why are my friends with these?
Name drop was heavy there, Michael.
Why has Ty Lopez invited me to come to this thing tomorrow, wants me to come on his podcast? I'm not that famous. Why? Dan Fleischman, I'm not that famous. Why is it? It is because every time we have a discussion, I'm like, Ty, how can I solve a problem for you? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's always the way it is for them. I'm like, what problem can I solve? And so that to me is...
On an even higher level, just really quick, if you want to make friends with high status dudes that are just killing it in every area, rock stars, don't come to them with only a problem. If there is a problem, also come to them with two solutions.
Ultimate thing that I learned from studying networking as an evolutionary adaptation, the people who speak the language of problem solving, the extreme way to say it is what Justin Waller said. Justin Waller said, if we can't make money together, fuck you, I don't want to be friends. Now, I don't say it like that. That's the way Justin says it. But that's an extreme example of what I'm talking about. And if you don't do that, you got to understand there's one Owen Cook and there's hundreds of thousands of Owen Cook fans. But there's only one of you. It's a supply and demand thing. You can't sit there and be friends with all of them. But the ones you are going to be closer friends with, I mean, from a certain standpoint, I watched Foundations. I watched The Blueprint Decoded. I was a customer who became one of your friends. How did I do that? Because I was always trying to solve problems for you guys, right? And that's essentially, that is the thing that I learned for 25 years of studying this.
That's true. As long as I've known Michael, he's been a guy that's has always been driving chicks around, solving problems, making events, organizing things for people. They're having logistical issues. He's the guy that knows somebody. That's definitely true. All right. more videos and reactions. Check the playlist coming up here in the corners. Let me know if you agree. Do you agree with what you saw in this video? Do you have disagreements? Do you have challenges with your social media? What are the challenges with your social media that you're having? Write it into the comments down below. Check out the discount holiday specials in the description. See you in the next video. Cheer!